pleasure to be with you always.
I'll tell you what, there is just a lot of things that are being planned. New California gun control bills. How about this? AB 48, AB 169, AB 170, AB 174, and AB 187. And then there are some bills being proposed for trafficking, safety, bullet taxes, and pension fund divestment. So we'll see how many of these we can plow through here in the next few minutes. But, Sam, what are you learning is the fundamental threat to people's Second Amendment rights?
The fundamental threat to Californians' Second Amendment rights is the California state legislature right now. They are pulling out all the stops to violate our Second Amendment rights in every way they can possibly come up with. They've got all of these bills that you've mentioned. At last count, I believe there were 16, maybe 18 bills. Very few of them have any details in them, but the general aspects of them are clearly violations of the Constitution. They want to ban semi-automatics. They want to make us register for, get a license to purchase ammunition. They want to make us get rid of our legally possessed high-capacity magazines. They want to tax our ammunition 5 cents per bullet. They want to blame us for all crime by taxing us in order to pay for the criminal activities.
Right. And, the crazy thing about this, with all the laws that are being contemplated and passed, they still wouldn't keep a guy, an ex-cop like Chris Dorner, from being able to have a weapon, have a gun.
As a matter of fact, Mark, Chris Dorner would be exempt from virtually all of these laws. And you want to know why we need the ability to protect ourselves and defend ourselves in our own homes? It's exactly because of people like him, former law enforcement officers who have chosen to inflict their criminal activities on law-abiding citizens, and that's just, it's unconscionable that people would consider disarming Californians and leaving them virtually defenseless, saying that you should not have anything more than a 5-round revolver to defend yourself in the home, no matter what happens, and that's just patently unconstitutional.
Yeah, and I'm looking at Glenn Reynolds' Instapundit page this morning. He says, remember, only the police can be trusted with guns, and that leads to a headline that says 3 bystanders reportedly shot by police during the hunt for murder suspect.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay. Now, let's go through some of these bills here. AB 48 mandates the reporting of ammunition sales. It requires licensing of ammo dealers and establishes further controls on bullet sales similar to current controls on gun sales. Wow. Is that constitutional?
We believe that, and our track record has been pretty good in what we believe is unconstitutional and what is constitutional. And we believe that this goes beyond the Bill of Rights and the Constitution in that, just as the Supreme Court held that you cannot place undue burdens on the exercising of a constitutional right, we believe that this does just that, because all it does is put these burdens on law-abiding citizens, and criminals, by definition, don't comply with them and still have the ability to get whatever they want and inflict their pain and damage.
Now, Sam, the Democrats who are promoting this say, well, look, people should have to be licensed to buy bullets and licensed to buy a gun, because after all, you have to have a license to be able to drive. So if the government can make you get a driver's license to operate a motor vehicle, why shouldn't the government be able to give you or require you to take a test and be licensed to own a firearm?
Oh, Mark, thank you for this question, because I want to make this clear.
Here's the big fat one right down the middle.
And I'm loading up, ready to swing and hit it out of the park. Let's go ahead and use that standard, because the Supreme Court has said that you don't have a constitutional right to have a car or a horse or a buggy or anything like that. But the Constitution did say that the right to travel is protected by the Constitution. But here's the kicker, and if they want to use this standard, it's okay with me. We'll talk about it. You are allowed, you have the right to travel in America without licensing and registration. In essence, you cannot be required to get papers and permission ahead of time in order to exercise that right. If they want to use that standard that the Supreme Court has already established, let's take that over to guns, and that will pretty much make a lot of our licensing and registration issues and declare them unconstitutional. So if that's the road they want to go, let's go.
8:41 is our time. Sam Paredes with the California Gun Owners Association, or the Gun Owners of California, joining us here. We're going to continue with Sam in a moment. 8:41 is our time. Traffic and weather together.
This Valentine's, if you're at the corner of long-term relationship and short on time, Walgreens makes shopping easy with Hallmark cards and gifts, premium candy, and fresh flowers. Walgreens, at the corner of happy and healthy. This traffic report is brought to you by Walgreens.
We have a report of a hit-and-run non-injury accident in the Morgan Hill area, 101 northbound at the East Dunn Avenue on-ramp. And then we also have an accident in San Benito County, a couple of them there. One is at Fallon Road and Fairview Road, the other 25 and Shore Road. Then in Gilroy, San Pedro Avenue and Murphy Avenue, an accident working there. Hit-and-run accident up on 85 and 101 northbound at the connector. We have a couple of dead dogs in the roadway, 101 northbound at Abbott Street. Our weather forecast for the Bay Area today, mostly sunny, temps in the upper 50s to low 60s. Salinas is high today, 59 degrees. And that's our traffic and weather together at 8:42.
2 Social Security numbers, school teacher Michelle Smith, store manager Sean Anderson, both with great credit and savings accounts. We'll start the bidding at $50.
Did you know there are black market websites around the world dedicated to selling stolen identities?
Sold to the buyer from Russia.
There's no way you could monitor these black market websites on your own. You need help. You need LifeLock services. LifeLock helps protect your identity by searching over 10,000 of these black market internet sites for illegal selling of your personal information. It's just one of the services we offer in the most comprehensive identity theft protection you can buy. Arm yourself with LifeLock Ultimate. Call and mention Radio 60 for 60 days risk-free. If you're not happy, call LifeLock within 60 days of enrollment and you won't pay a cent. See lifelock.com for details. Call 1-800-994-0786. 1-800-994-0786. 1-800-994-0786. Network does not cover all transactions and scope may vary.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, thanks, sweetie. A heart-shaped box of chocolates from the drugstore. How thoughtful. It's the thought that counts, right?
Yes, of course.
Good, because I bought Lula's chocolates for you. And since it's the thought, you keep your chocolates and I'll keep the Lula's. You're so good to me.
Lula's chocolates available at Lula's factory in Ryan Ranch or in Carmel at either the Crossroads Shopping Village or on Mission. Learn more at lulas.com. Real, fresh, love. Lula's.
1460 AM and 101.1 FM KION is your radio home for Santa Cruz Warriors NBA D-League basketball. Be sure to join us for our next Warriors radio broadcast by going to 1460KION.com for dates and times.
When you visit historic San Juan Bautista for the best Mexican food, come to Doña Esther Restaurant at 25 Franklin Street. Family owned, family friendly. Mention this ad and get a 20% discount. Doña Esther, open 7 days a week.
Take us wherever you go. Get the iHeartRadio mobile app at 1460KION.com.
Sam Paredes, Gun Owners of America, California chapter or state organization, is with us this morning here on KION. And I know the national is gunowners.org. What's the Gun Owners California website?
It's www.gunownersca.com.
Okay.
GUNOWNERSCA.com.
All right. Now, in these various laws, for example, the reporting of ammunition sales, the required licensing of ammo dealers, and even people having to having to have a license to buy ammo. Here's, I think, what they're trying to do with this is, because they want to license everyone that owns a gun. You have to register it. Well, if you have a gun and you don't register it, but then you go in to buy ammunition, the question is going to be, well, you don't have a gun. What do you want the ammunition for?
Mark, you're absolutely correct that registration programs do not serve to prevent crime or to solve crime. They are to identify, giving the government an ability to identify who has them for whatever purposes they might establish at that time or into the future. And that is correct. They will have multiple databases that they can use to cross-check, to go after law-abiding citizens who they believe are violating the law by exercising their rights of purchasing ammo.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Even with these laws, it's like a sieve. You can drive to Reno, Nevada, or Las Vegas, or Phoenix, Arizona, or anywhere in Oregon. You can buy all the ammunition you want and come back to California and not be in violation of any law.
Right.
So it just doesn't make sense.
Sam, one of our listeners, David Salinas, writes and says, I wonder if they're going to make it illegal to own or use reloading equipment and to own lead.
Well, please ask him not to say that very loudly, because the fact of the matter is the knuckleheads at the Capitol know less than nothing about guns, and reloading is so esoteric they usually don't talk about it. But they haven't mentioned reloading in any of the legislation, but we haven't seen the details yet of the bills. They're not finalized. And how are they? What are they going to do? Prevent people from driving down the road and picking up wheel weights that have been cast off from tires and stuff in order to cast their own bullets? No, they have not gone so far as to go after ammunition and reloaded ammunition in your own casting bullets and stuff.
Now, here's something that sounds very arbitrary, and that is AB 169. People exempted from restrictions on purchasing guns deemed unsafe by the DOJ, California Department of Justice, would be banned from selling or transferring ownership of those guns to anyone who is also not exempt.
It's rocket science, you know. It's a criminal. It is illegal for a criminal to transfer firearms to another criminal, or for somebody who has been adjudicated mentally deficient to transfer firearms to somebody who has been adjudicated as mentally deficient. It's already illegal. It's already wrong for them to do that. So what we're seeing is that a bunch of these individuals in the legislature, both in the Senate and the Assembly, are looking for their 15 minutes of fame, trying to grab the brass ring of glory with coming out with these new and unique gun control measures that will simply not prevent gun violence in any way, shape, or form. None of these would impact mass shootings or even criminal misuse of firearms. They will only affect law-abiding citizens.
All right, and then also another one that we have here that they're looking at is AB 170, limiting the issuance of permits for assault weapons and machine guns to individuals only. I didn't know that anybody could even get their hands on a machine gun.
Well, our movie industry gets those exemptions quite often, and some of our celebrities, like our former governor, who has a passel of them, pretty much anything that your mind can imagine he owns. We don't find movie stars are going out and committing mass murders or anything like that. And although the movies, it's questionable that whether the violence that are depicted in the movies have any impact on culture and society, and kind of broaden the minds of some of our youth who end up thinking that is normal and go out and commit atrocities. But still, they have a legal ability to do that. So this law is going after a situation and people who were not a problem.
AB 187 would place a tax on the sale of bullets in California, with the proceeds going to a, quote, high crime prevention fund. Yeah, I see the studio audience sees that being foolish. A high crime prevention fund that targets jurisdictions with high crime rates. Now, I would imagine they could tax the sale of bullets. Will they be able to get away with that, or is that something that...
We don't believe so, and this is why. First of all, there are close to 40 million people in California. There are over 40 million guns in legal possession in California. And if everybody bought just one box of ammo a year, the number of rounds that are purchased and used legally are in the tens, maybe hundreds of millions, and the number of rounds that are used for criminal purposes are in the low thousands, maybe. So statistically insignificant. And to blame the vast majority of law-abiding citizens on the for the criminal misuse of an inanimate object is plainly unfair. But here's the kicker. The Supreme Court has already ruled that you cannot place an undue burden on the exercising of a constitutional right, and this was in the case of the Minneapolis Star versus the Minneapolis Commissioner of Revenue.
Okay, and so that would be the tax on the bullets.
That's correct.
All right. 8:50 is our time. Before we go here, I've got one more question for you. It is an email that just came in a moment ago about organizing against this injustice, and we'll get to that in just a second. First, traffic and weather.
Settle in on a comfy pillow top bed tonight at La Quinta. La Quinta Inns and Suites takes care of you so you can take care of business. Book your next successful stay at lq.com. This traffic report is brought to you by La Quinta Hotels.
Some debris on the roadway 101 southbound at the Coyote Creek Golf Drive exit, heading out of Silicon Valley towards the Morgan Hill area. Also a dead animal on the roadway 101 southbound at Laurel and Salinas. A hit-and-run non-injury accident up on 101 northbound at the East Dunn Avenue exit. Our weather forecast for the Bay Area today, it's going to be mostly sunny with temps in the upper 50s to low 60s. We continue with Sam Paredes. And Sam, a question for Mike is... what can we do locally to organize against this injustice? Is this a wait-and-see time, or is there a plan to deal with the problem? What do you think, Sam?
As of right now, citizens throughout the state have been encouraging their locally elected sheriffs to stand up and uphold the oath of office that they took to defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of California against enemies, foreign and domestic, and to let the politicians know that they cannot be bullied by them into infringing on the rights of the citizens in which they have been entrusted to offer law enforcement support to. They can communicate with their boards of supervisors and ask them to do a resolution defending the Second Amendment and encouraging the legislature to do things that are real. Mark, and my last comment here is that right now the state legislature can do one thing that doesn't require any statute or any law to pass, and they can have the most impact to stop gun violence. If they were to stop cutting the budgets of our court system and stop cutting the budgets of our law enforcement and Department of Justice so that they can take all of the people that are legally declared as mentally deficient, they are adjudicated according to the law, you can capture 100% of those people if you just allow the court system, the personnel, the hardware, and the software to put them on the database in a timely manner. That alone can capture 100% of the people with mental issues that have been legally declared a danger and put them on a system so that law enforcement can research them effectively.
All right. Stay on top of the issue by going to the website, gunownersca.org. Sam Paredes, thanks for being with us this morning.
Always a pleasure, my friend.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
8:53 at KION. Back with more in just a moment.
Are you worried about rising college costs? We can help lower your bottom line. College can come with a big price tag these days, but by visiting